Hey everybody, welcome to week four. We're at the midpoint of the class. I know it seems like it's come so quickly, and yes, it will end very quickly as well. It seems like this second half of the term, and it's only a 7.5 week term, tends to move by almost in hyperdrive. So buckle up, let's get ready. So to that point, in terms of this being the midterm, there is a midterm test that you're going to be taking this week. Now, students have asked before, well, I really want you to put together some sort of study guide for me or cheat sheet or something like that. Look, you're taking this online. You're taking this on your computer. You can use whatever is at your disposal. You really don't need any kind of study guide from me because you can navigate using another window, another pane to previous weeks if you have questions, or if something comes up, there's a question and you say, well, I'm not really sure about this, so you need to look around the rest of Blackboard for an answer, the rest of this class. If you're going to actually use the internet itself and or a search engine like Google, look, you can, all right? So there's no reason for me to give you anything else because you have the wealth of the world's knowledge at your fingertips. So this is going to be something, though, that you really need to make sure you do in completion. Sometimes students will start it, and then they'll kind of save their progress, and they'll totally forget about it. Now, by the end of the week, by the time I need to start putting grades in, I'm going to have to force a completion on that, whether it's correct or whether it's complete or not, and I'm going to have to give you the grade, even if there are, say, 4 or 5 or 6 questions that you never answered. Those have to get zeros. So make sure that you are actually completing it and submitting it, all right? You don't have to do that all in one sitting, but you do need to do that. So it's true and false questions, it's multiple choice questions, and then a few short answer essay questions. Now, these short answer essay questions are pretty basic. They're things like, what's the difference between copying and pasting a file? Or how do you move a file? How do you, rename a file? It's very basic things like that, things that you use all the time. So what you're going to be doing is you're just going to be walking me through the process you use. And some of you are going to be doing it differently. That's perfectly fine, okay? The thing you can't do, though, is just skip it. I don't really know. I'm not going to say the right thing. I'm just going to skip it. You are going to get pounded in terms of your grade if you skip those essay questions, okay? And remember, this midterm, as it says right on the midterm in the week 4 folder, it's worth 10% of your overall grade. Now, you can end up getting a pretty good grade if you just finish it. Most people do. So make sure you finish it, you complete it. Now, the other assignment is what we call the Valley Custom Manufacturing assignment. This is another Word assignment. So we're finishing up Word, and next week we start a little bit with Excel this week and then move into it in earnest next week. So the Valley Custom Manufacturing is another one of these kind of like workplace professional memos that you're putting together. But this one has different features than the one that you did last time, which was the American River Cycling Club. This one's a little more involved, but it's not hard. As long as you follow the instructions in the book, you're going to be fine. Now, one of the things you need to keep in mind, and this is said in Blackboard, is you only need to do it through step 12. Everything else is about like sharing your file with me. Don't worry about that. Just finish it through step 12, then submit it via Blackboard, and you'll be fine. So this one's going to require some other elements, like I said, using and including some page breaks. Make sure that you are following the instructions and putting them in the right place, having a good introduction to this memo. Also, I think there's some, I think you're going to put in some endnote/footnotes. There's going to be 2 of those. So make sure you are following the instructions to the letter. Also, at the end of the instructions in the textbook, there should be, I can't remember completely, but there should be a couple of images that are essentially like thumbnail pictures of what the final product should look like. And if you look closely and then you kind of compare it with yours, you get a pretty good, decent idea of whether you're on the right track or not. So definitely do that. I mean, this is not hard if you follow the instructions. So just make sure you are very, very detail oriented. Now, we're going to be talking about browsers today. And actually, I'm going to be uploading another video exclusively on browsers, what they are, what they do. Basically, it gives us a little bit of an understanding of what the internet itself is. So the internet itself, and then the web that sits on the internet, and then the browsers, which are software programs that we use to actually navigate different web sites and web pages. But we're going to be talking about that in the discussion board. We're going to be talking about different browsers, and you're going to be asked to compare and contrast a couple of different browsers. Most people talk about Chrome and Firefox, but if you use Safari as a Mac user, talk about that. Edge, You can use that, talk about that. And then Brave, this is one I really like a lot. This is a rather new one. This is, I think, created by the people who, some of the people who initially created Firefox. But this one has some of its own features that make it very, very unique, specifically when it comes to online privacy. So I'll say more about that in my video for that. For the discussion board, again, make sure that you're hitting all the key elements for the discussion board. And that means at least one initial post. This is a post that starts a thread, and that post should be at least 100 words. And then on top of that, you're going to have 3 more, so a total of 4 minimum replies. So, and that's going to give you a total of 4 posts totally. That's the minimum. And try to get these replies to at least 3 different students in their own threads. That's what's ideal. But still, do more than that. I mean, it benefits you. It helps you grade if you do more than that. But try to find ways in your replies to add new information to these threads. So you ask some questions. Try to say more than just like, hey, Joe, I agree with you, or hey, Sally, good point, nice job. That's fine to say. Encouragement is wonderful, but try to add something of value, add something new as well. Say like, I agree with you. I think that this, but did you ever think about this? Okay, so try to bring in a little bit more information. That's really what makes these discussion boards fruitful. And remember, starting this week and going until through week 7, there is the extra credit assignment, which is, if you want to do it, doing a video post for your initial post. If you do a video post, and I did give you instructions on how to do that, if you do a video post, you're going to, right off the bat, earn 10 points onto your discussion board grade. And so that means even if you get a 100, you're going to get a 110, okay? So we can actually go above that. I have that power. So I'd love to see that. If some of you are going to want to, if some of you are going to do that, it's really very easy. And once you do it once, you realize, gosh, this is a piece of cake. So that's what's on. That's what your tasks are for this week. We've got the discussion board. We've got the Valley Custom Manufacturing, and we've got the midterm. We also have those practice assignments. They're not required. You're not going to be graded on those, but I highly recommend doing them just because it's extra practice. So, as always, if you have any questions, comments, concerns, you can email me. You can call me. This is 585-433-5781, and you can text me at that number as well. And you can also get me on Skype. slpelton1 is my username, and I will have my office hours on Wednesday at 7 o'clock Eastern Standard Time. So looking forward to seeing what you guys are going to do this week. Thanks very much.